to give us those, take advantage of those ebbs and floats that the market might present to us, if at all. As we come down here to our green band, as you can see here at the 78 area, if you're a little aggressive, nice little rotation there against the green band area there. We had 75. And nice little pop. And the market here is reacting to continued concerns about the Fed with what they're going to do with the rates, also the impending, the continuation of the UAW strike, and looks like the nut jobs in Washington are continuing to be the nut jobs in Washington. They're going to almost create a crisis here as far as the budget is concerned. And no, these people are out of control there in Washington. They're completely out of control. Can't even work together to do anything. It's getting kind of annoying here. If you're from the United States, if you're other side of the pond, you're like laughing at us. It's pretty amazing. Just amazing. All right, we drifted quickly back up here. Got bounced off of our green band there. You can see at 78. And back up here. See if we have any numbers coming out this morning. So there's a lot of things here affecting the market, and all to the negative side. So yesterday's big sell-off definitely not taking everything into consideration, what's going on, and the market reacted accordingly. And now we'll see where it wants to go. Hitting these, I guess we haven't been down here in a while. Again, the impending budget situation in Washington, especially next week, is going to take, definitely going to be a problem for this market. And so we'll see how they react to it. Let's see here if we have anything else coming out this morning. 8:45. So in about 10 minutes or so, we get PMI composite. See if that does anything. And then there's a Fed speak at noon. If you're going to be trading, some Fed officials going to be talking, and every time these Fed people say something, it might create some volatility here in the market. And you can see here the levels in the chat for us. Thank you there, Don. Hey, Don, you going to be around on Monday?
I believe so.
Yeah, because I can do the levels and then
Okay.
I take off.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. All right there. So yield on the 10 years pushing 4.5. Again, we haven't seen those numbers in bonds yields in a long time, especially 2-year is up at 5.10 or something like that, 5.15. Getting, bond market is not happy with what's going on here. And again, remember that the Fed can manipulate the short-term rates, and that's why they're pushing it those high rates. But the long-term stuff is starting to catch up. Well, they still have that 70-point differential between 2s and 10s, so kind of staying in that gap, in that range. I think the only time it flips or is going to turn back is when you have they start cutting rates. I think because the long-term rates might be staying here for a bit. But what do I know? Now we do have a number coming out here in about 8 minutes. Let's see, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, third attempt to avert a federal government shutdown has collapsed with only 9 days left for the federal government new fiscal year. This is a whole new concept of individuals who want to burn the whole place down, McCarthy said after his Freedom Caucus voted with Democrats to block a vote on traditional popular defense funding bill, while Congress needs to pass 12 appropriation bills to fund the federal government. Markets are largely unaffected in the lead to a shutdown on average, continuing to rise in the 30 days following the resolution. That's what the history of these threats are, that they rise 30 days after resolution. But they fall right before it. So it's kind of preempting the inevitable and telling them, look, this is what's going to happen. And it's going to be a lot worse. I don't know if people care anymore over there. The United Auto Workers will announce today which factories will be affected by a broadening of the targeted strike against Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis. Union president previously warned that the strike would expand unless substantial progress was made. Politicians on both sides have entered the fray, with most calling for a compromise in the middle, where the pay increases would be 25% to 30% over the 4-year contract. So no, we'll see what happens. I got a little number coming out here at 8:45. And then we have a Fed speak later on this afternoon. We're going to be trading at 12 o'clock Chicago time. All right, we're just kind of hanging here on these lows. You can see the market's been range bound here for the last few hours. Really unchanged considering the big dump of losses yesterday. Now we're pushing here in the lows. We got low support here at the 75 area. Let's see what it wants to do here. All right, coming down here to the 75 area. All right, giving us a little bit of rotation here against the 75 area. Yeah, working the 75 area here a little bit. Yeah, a number coming out here in about 2 minutes. So keep that in mind if you are trading. If you're in around the 75 area. We don't like to have positions on when numbers are being released. So be a little bit mindful of that. All right, trying to give us a little bit of rotation here against, there we go, against our little 70. Remember, we scale in around there. So, and they're at 76. We came up here at 78. Cut down actually to 70, 75 and a quarter. So if you scaled in a little bit closer to 75, you have to scale in around level because we're not going to be perfect, unfortunately. And if you had 75, you did not get filled, but it did get down to 75.50. If you scaled in a half a point above and below, even if you got a point above and below, you got in there at 76. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of that little rotation here, right here before the number. There's a number coming out here in about a minute or so. Again, all we're trying to do is take advantage of the ebbs and flows of the market. We have our levels there that we put up at the beginning of the day. They are there as a guide to the day to give us those areas that we're going to be focused in on for our setups. And they're there to help us guide. You can use those levels for the whole day. All right, we do have a number coming out here momentarily. You can see the ladder ticket kind of lightening up here a little bit. There's no 100 lots up and down the ladder ticket. So there's a number coming out here. You can always tell if there's a number going to be released. There's like 30s and 40s now. As closer it gets to the 45, they really lighten the load. Bond market is all thinned out as well. We have bond chart up, or bond ladder ticket, or dome, whatever you want to call it. So this number is out. We're flat, and we'll see what happens. Very thin there. You can see there's 20, 30 lots up and down the ladder ticket here, and there's the number. A little pop back up here. A little resistance around the 84 or 5 area. All right. So if you did jump in there at around the 75 area, it was a nice little rotation there off of that level. Hopefully you were able to take advantage of it even before the number was out. Right now, a little resistance around the 85. Obviously, the 82 is our pivot. All right, so again, I was flat there. Upside, I mean, if you're aggressive, you're looking at 85. If you're risk averse, you're looking at 91 if on the upside here. Otherwise, downside, you're looking at our next support level will be down at the 67 area. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. Hey, Mike, you around? Can you go to host and panelists instead of to everybody? And let me have your telephone number. And maybe what area code is? I mean, what part of the country is that? So you're East Coast. Okay, so maybe I can call you about noon your time. 11 o'clock here. If that works. Okay, great. All right. Market kind of drifting right around our pivot here, so we're kind of a little bit neutral right now. And if you're a little aggressive, maybe you're looking at the A5 area. There's a little resistance, but number was a little bit bullish here, kind of a little bit, nothing great. Just pushed off of the lows there a touch. But at least we came right down to our support area there at the 75 area. And then pushed off. Now we're just kind of flat and be patient here a little bit. Good trade here on a Friday to first trade in the morning. Good trade, and then it's Friday. Gonna have a good weekend. My take on it. All right, it did bounce off of our blue band there a little bit. I mean, our pivot there. If you're a little aggressive. All right, rotating there off of our pivot area. Again, if you're a little aggressive, you wanted to play our pivot area there. You got it off here. Again, we're looking at the 85 there as well, but they just stopped there at pivot and rotated off. Got up to 83 and change there and came back down. All right, back down here to our lows. Our next support level on the downside we have is down at the 67 area. All right, we continue to downtick here a little bit. Again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. We are trading ebbs and flows of the market. We're looking for those areas of inflection that create some opportunities to scalp the market based on levels we just that we gave out in the chat there, as well as any price action opportunities that occur. And the 82 there, if you were a little aggressive, was a price action opportunity. We did get down here to 74. You always remember about 74. You can never forget about 74. So, saying. Just saying. Thirty-year mortgage rates are pushing 775, right up there. 2000, they were at around over 8%, and that's the high. So, talking about 23 years ago, 24 almost years ago now. Well, it's not looking good there for those mortgage rates. I mean, what a move in the mortgage company. I mean, they were trading literally around 3% at the end of 21. And last year and this year, just completely Really gone crazy there. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens up there. It's having a hard time rallying at all these days. All right, just kind of hanging up here at the top of the other pivot area. All right, so just kind of bouncing there off of our pivot. If you're very aggressive there and you are trading our pivot area there, you can pay it off again. I would not do it the third time up there though. All right, well, we're back here at the pivot area. And this time around, probably a little bit more, harder to take. And if we're going to do anything, and maybe you're looking at 85. If you're more risk averse, you're looking at the 91. All right, came right up here to our 95 area, 85, sorry. Came right up there to 85. We showed was just a little bit of resistance there against that 85 if you're a little aggressive. Quick rotation here off of it. And if you're more risk averse, you're looking at the 91 area. Again, kissed 85, came all the way back down, and coming back up here again. So you had a quick opportunity there if you were going to scalp it. And now we're continuing looking at the 91 area next. All right, continue to uptick here, looking at the 91 area. Bonds, a little relief too, a little relief rally there as well. And we get up here to 89. We're looking at the 91 area. All right, we drifted up to 89 there and came off. All right, coming off here a little bit, coming back here to the blue band of pivot there at 82. If you are looking for a little support area, it's around where it's at. All right, we're quickly coming back down here to the pivot area. Again, if you're a little aggressive and you wanted to find a little place to buy it, it's right there, and you had a nice little quick, very quick rotation there against it. Again, patience important, waiting for opportunities in case you wanted to. And again, they are risky, but by the same token, they are reasons to trade, and we're always looking for reasons to trade. They're not always going to work. Let's put it that way. It's just you have to do it consistently all the time, and then you can go from there. Again, these are quick scalps, so we're not holding on to these moves for a long time. If the market gives us a quick rotation, 2 to 3 points, that's what we're looking at. Things have settled down. Yesterday, we talked about expanding the stops here a little bit. Things have settled down here a little. We're pretty much range bound. So we can probably go back to 2 or 3 points in some of these trades. All right, now we're pretty much neutral, right? We just kind of hang in here around our pivot. All right, continues down tick. Next support level on the downside, we have the already tested the 75, so we're looking at 67. All right, market down ticking. And again, if you're more risk averse, you're looking at the 67. All right, quick little rotation there against the that 85 area, which well, then it did pop up to 89, so we kind of missed our 99. Well, we had 91, so kind of did not even get that, but tried to get close, but did not. All right, we drifted back here to our pivot area. And can we repeat the levels in the chat? Well, of course, one more time, in case there they are. Those are, again, going to be used as a guide to the day. These are the levels that we're going to be focused in on if we're looking to use those as the day goes on. And again, welcome to the new folks that are here. We're trading mini S&Ps. We're looking for scalping opportunities based on those levels we just gave out, in addition to any price action opportunities that occur. We've had a nice rotation there against our pivot a couple times. Talked about them, when to get into them, when not to get into them. Right now we're back here at our pivot, so very, very quiet little trade. And kind of floating on both sides of our pivot there. We almost got our upside first resistance there at 91. I got up to 89 and then came off. Now we're just kind of hanging here around our pivot area. All right, again, just kind of hanging around that pivot area, everything on both sides of it. So very, very quiet. Again, we've had some couple nice opportunities this morning. If anybody has any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. All right, we continue to hop back up again. When it trades both sides of our pivot, very have to figure out which direction it's going. So we're just going to be patient and wait. And I'll wait for our levels to get triggered. Our upside level here is at 91. Next downside support would be down at the 67 area. If we get out of this range or not, I don't know, but patience is very important. right. Well, we drifted up, come right back down here to our pivot area. So very, very quiet trade this morning. Range bound trade, kind of consolidating after a big day yesterday. Again, the concerns in the market, with the auto union strike, auto strike that's going on. The Fed with their FOMC results and commentary afterwards, and possible impending shutdown of the government, all are coming into play here and putting all those negatives come into play here, putting pressure here on the stock market. As you can see, yesterday kind of just fell out. All right there, Mike. Have a good one. Talk to you later. All right, we're rotating back up here to these highs. We're looking at the 91 area. All right, quickly coming up here to the 91 area. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your stops in place. The bond market here kind of getting some legs as well, maybe creating a little rally there in the S&Ps. I don't want to say that we're trading with them, but we have been lately, only because of the interest rate situation affecting the market. Usually we're inverse with the bond market historically, but not anymore, at least not for the time being. Third time testing it. Well, I mean, depending on how you look at it, if you're looking at it before we opened up, yeah, and that's why we told you, we were suggesting you keep your stop in place with above that double top. But by the same token, it's the first time we're testing it today, this morning, before the once we started opening up. So that's the overnight high you're looking at. So a little bit of a difference between the overnight trade and the morning trade. But again, that's why we're also going to keep your stop in place. And there is a little bit of a backup there as far as the resistance around 92. And again, that's a good point there. If you see that, I'm telling you about a level and you have a different read on it, that's good too, because you can say, well, I got one thing here, it's showing me something else, and he's telling me something else. Well, maybe I shouldn't take the level at all, right? Sometimes you do have different points of view that are showing the market's showing us two different things, and consequently, you're going to have to say, okay, how am I going to trade it? Do I get in? Is it going to be, do I get short? Do I get long? And if you're having an issue deciding because you see something and there's nothing, you're absolutely right with what you saw, maybe you just don't take the trade at all, right? I mean, there's no reason that you have to take the trade because you see it a different way. That's, trading's all about, having some, making these decisions on your own. We have to try to explain the risk and also explain the situation, and then you have to make a determination right after that. So good point. And also, when you have one indicator telling you one thing and another one telling you another thing, the opposite, maybe the trade is not to do anything at all. No, we are kind of hanging here. We could say 91. It came up as 92 and change, go back down to 91. It turned before 73, well, 74, I mean. The overnight low was not 73. All right, I think this move here kind of maybe pushed here by the bond market, which has gotten some legs all of a sudden. And again, if the market starts to rally and it does the slow rally, we always talk about how it's very difficult for these rallies to trade if this is going to be the case going forward today. So we're just kind of hanging up here around this 91 area. Again, a little back up there at 92. It's kind of stopping here. I'd say anything above 94 for sure. 94 and a quarter. You want to be out of any shorts if you haven't gotten out already. And again, it's coming back down here to the 91 area. So it's giving you choices here as to how to trade this level. Again, if you don't like the price action, you can exit the trade for a little bit of a scratch. or you can lessen your risk. Yeah, it's giving you, at least it's staying up here to give you choices as to how to manage this little trade here. So I'm going to get out of some of my contracts here. So I lessen my risk and I had 90 above 94 and a quarter out of any shorts at this point, and probably, be happy that take a little bit of a profit or, scratch some of these. And that way I'm not going to, either way, I'll either keep my stop in there at 4 and a quarter and see if I can come back down here to the 88 area. But again, I decrease my risk. And all right, trying to turn over a little bit, being a little bit, you know, there's a little bit of a rotation here against that 91 area again. And we said there had back up in 92. So let's stop there at 375. And finally trying to turn over here a little bit. All right, we're going back down. Again, this time there we go. This time we just we sometimes have to work these trades, work these areas. They're not always going to be going to a level and turning around for us right away. Sometimes we have to work them. Again, there was a reason for the trade, and we talked about it. And a nice little rotation back down in here. Like I said, so I'm going to cover my stuff and be happy. Took 3-point stop on the upside and 3 points in the rotation here, and kind of be good with that. All right. Yeah, and like I said, we have to work on that one just a little bit. All right. The auto workers have announced that 38 more plants will be walking off the job today at GM and Stellantis, which did not expand the strike against Ford. The UAW president said that Ford has gone further in meeting union demands. Anything like that. So 38 more plants. That's can be a little. There's a lot of residual that comes with that. You got people who are offering jobs to the jobs, residual other companies that have to give, that offer or have to give equipment and stuff to all these companies, to all these auto workers, these plants are also going to be not what this is going to expand well beyond just the auto industry. So it's going to be a little bit of an issue here if they don't figure something out. All right, so we traded here against our 91 area. We got up to 375. We talked about some resistance against 92 as well. That would back up. We also, if you scale in, maybe you scale in against 92 as well. And we have, if you just kept a 3-point stop there, did okay because it never got up to 375 and rotated off. And I suggested I was going to cover at 88, and that's where it got down to, and then popped back up. All right, next level on the upside we have is resistance is up at the 98 area. All right, we're just kind of hanging up here at these highs up here. Next resistance area is up at the 98 area. If we can repeat the levels one more time there in the chat, for those of you who might have missed the levels, we can use those levels all day long. All right, coming back up here, we got a resistance here at 98. Above that, we've got 44.08, 18, and then 26. And at the downside support, we already have the 75. Below that, we have 67, 55, 48, and then 40. And our pivot there is at the 82 area. All righty. See what the next opportunity is. A little support would be around the 85 area. Otherwise, looking at 98 as our next resistance area. If we trade below, you know, if you can trade 85, just keep a stop in there and then see what happens. There's different areas of support down below before we get down to the 67. But if you're more risk averse, you're going to be just trading the 67 down there. All right, we're just kind of drifting up here at these highs. All right, we continue the uptick. We're looking at the 98 area next. All right, slowly upticking here. We said anything above 94 and a half there, 94 and a quarter out of any shorts. So a little bit of a buy there if you were a little aggressive. But 98 is our next level of resistance that we're going to be focusing on. All right. Well, we've gotten to a little bit of a range here. They pushed a little bit. We had 98. They got up to 96 even, and then came off here a little bit. So it's kind of see what it wants to do up there around the 98. If we could get back up there and test it, we got some nice opportunities this morning, and we had to be a little bit patient. Levels worked out nicely. If you just traded out levels, it did all right. There were a couple of price action opportunities along the way as well. And now we're just kind of, seems like we're trying to uptick. I think bonds keeping us a little buoyant. We'll see. A little support at 85. Keep your stops in place there. I think you get below 83. It might rotate down to 79 or those levels below. And otherwise, everybody have a great weekend, and we'll talk to everybody on Monday.